Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you guys a collection update. Now, will be the first July collection update. I think a couple of these movies may have been purchased by the end of June, but generally this is the July purchases. So we're going to dive into it. Some of these I've seen, some of these I have not. Some of these are a whole collection at the moment. So I can't wait to show you what I got. So the first one is a Walmart purchase. Finding physical movies at Walmart, sometimes it's touch and go depending on the area you live in. But I happen to be close to a couple that generally have the movies I'm looking for. There are some movies they won't always order the 4K formats for, but generally speaking, I can usually find what I'm looking for. So here we have Monkey Man. I don't know if this movie was made in 4K, but this is the Blu-ray. I meant to see this in theaters. I never did, and I don't know why. What's funny about this one is I am intrigued by the team behind it with Dev Patel and Jordan Peele. But I'm hearing that the violence tone is comparable to John Wick. I'm hearing that it is rumored that the intensity of the violence tops John Wick. I'm biased to the franchise. I really love the John Wick movies. So the fact that something is even compared to it might be better. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see it for myself. I want to know what it's all about, Monkey Man. So I'm going to check it out. We're going to go full monkey and dive into this thing. So I'm going to watch this pretty soon. This next one I did purchase not too long ago. I did review it already. So this one I have seen. But I want to share with you. I got Revenge of the Nerds not that long ago. I've already shared my thoughts why this classic comedy is one of my new favorites. I absolutely loved everything about it. I wish there were more comedies like this. So this was one of my favorites. I love this movie. If you've heard about it, check it out. Do yourself a favor. Go and see this movie now. Of course, the cover is not in the movie. I just love the ridiculous cover for it. It's just, this is a great representation of the vibes you get in this kind of a movie. So I like this one. I have seen it. It sits with my comedies section in my collection. We're going to move on to the next one now. Now this was an interesting movie. I didn't really know how I felt about it. And this one, I don't believe it's Neon or Searchlight. I couldn't figure out. I don't remember who made this one. It just says Universal. This one is Thoroughbreds. This one relies on intensity. It's kind of hard to describe. Two girls were friends a long time ago. They're reconnecting and they're planning a murder. And the reasons why and the reasons how they want to go about it and if they're going to go through with it and what the other is going to do about it. It's just very interesting. It's definitely a dialogue movie, the conversations back and forth. There are a few different locations in this movie, so it mainly takes place in one of their homes. So this was interesting. It was an interesting watch. Just the team behind creating the script for this movie was really clever with some of the ideas and reasoning behind their decisions. This one was pretty interesting. It wasn't all that exciting. This one doesn't have a ton of action. If you're looking for an action movie, this isn't it. But this was very intriguing, very interesting, something different. So I liked it. I thought it was cool. And this next one is nothing close to Monkey Man at all. This is an emotional movie. This movie, If I Stay. What's interesting is this one's actually mostly, well, I shouldn't say mostly. A lot of this movie takes place by someone in the veil, in between. There's really not a lot of, like, lore or reasoning or details of how she's able to see everything going on around her while her body's lying in the hospital. But it's just an interesting concept for this movie alone. It's interesting because it's basically the mind of a teenager. So you don't really get a mature sense of what she's feeling and what she's seeing. So getting this kind of situation's perspective for the mind of a teenager is something different. I thought the screenwriters were creative with this one. I thought it was pretty cool. This feels like something that was based off a book. I don't know if it is. I haven't done the research myself because I'm lazy. But I thought this was a good movie. I thought it was really cool. A lot of emotional moments in this one. If you like those kind of movies, this one's pretty good. I think there's some good acting. There is some corny, dialogue here and there. But I think that just comes with a movie like this. If you see the trailer, then you're going to expect a little bit of that in this. But overall, I liked it, and I thought there were some great performances, and overall, it was a great story. So I like this one a lot. This next one is a continuation for the Purge franchise. I've seen the first Purge, but I've not seen the first Purge. So I've already watched first Purge. I then watched this first Purge. So I'm going to go back and review the first Purge so I can then get to reviewing the first Purge and then ultimately review the Purge franchise as a whole, including the first Purge and the first Purge. So I have seen this one. Unfortunately, this one felt similar to the second one. This one didn't really feel like anything new. It's just the first Purge. But other than that, there's really nothing that feels creatively different about this movie. There's really nothing that sets it apart from the others. This just felt a little generic. But I'm going to dive more into it later when I see this next one, The Forever Purge. This one's still in the plastic wrap. This was a recent Amazon purchase. The Blu-ray was on sale. Now, what's interesting is these movies are on 4K now. I know at least the first one is. I don't know if all 5 are on 4K, but I believe at least a few of them are. So if you have to have these movies in 4K, there is that option now. I haven't heard much about this one. I knew a little bit about the first Purge, more than just it's the first Purge, even though it's not the first Purge. But anyway, I don't really know much about this one at all. I'm going to give it a watch pretty soon. I generally like the other movies. The first 3 were great. The fourth was a little shaky, but I have hopes this might turn it around. I don't know. I'm hearing 50-50 about it, but I'm going to check it out sooner or later. This movie, I know I reviewed this one already, but this one was intense. It Follows. I'm still baffled by the fact there's a sequel. But this one sits in my horror collection proudly as a creepy, intense movie. If you're looking to find a horror movie that's not just flat out Hollywood's version of a traumatic experience like The Conjuring, this one's something that's creepy, horror, and not over the top, I would say this one's it. I liked it. I thought it was cool. It's a different, interesting concept to what the creature/monster/thing is. So I like this one a lot. It was intriguing and different. And now this next one, I have seen this one. This is The Strangers Prey at Night. Found this at my local movie trading company. Now, I know I heard that the original one is the best, and after seeing all 3, yes, the first one is still the best one. But this one's concept was interesting. I kind of liked it. I think this could have been more interesting if the characters around the area, the location chosen for them praying at night, I think this location chosen should have had 10, 15 people, but there's only a few. So I think that hurt this movie. But generally speaking, I like the concept of this one. I like the location. I just wish maybe they had thrown a little bit more characters at this movie. I think that could have helped a lot. But regardless, I watched this. I thought it was interesting. It's not the best one, but it's an interesting watch. Now, these next 5 is actually interesting because I have one single movie in my Criterion collection. If you don't know what it is, it's essentially a boutique label. Most times throughout the year, these movies in the Criterion collection are $50. But a few times a year, they're on sale. More often than not, they're half off. So they're about $24.99, $19.99 movies, which is a lot more affordable. So I decided to pick up some copies and build my Criterion collection. I have Christopher Nolan's very first movie, Following. So I have that in my collection. But now I have 5 more to build my Criterion collection. So let's get into it. Now, these all have the seal, so these all have that Barnes & Noble sticker. Barnes & Noble is one of the few places that will sell physical copies of the Criterion collection, and primarily is the best place to go to find these movies. So this one is Marriage Story. I don't know much about it, except that people that saw it really liked this one a lot. I know this was nominated for awards. I am unclear whether it won. I don't keep up with that enough, but I've heard great things about it. It's got her on the front, him on the back, sort of that 2-side cover. I like it. It's sort of the slim copy. It feels thinner than a standard Blu-ray box. And I can't tell if it's going to open up like a book or not. I'm excited to open this up, but I've kept them all sealed for now just because I recently purchased these. But I look forward to watching this one. Like I said, I like Adam Driver. I think he has some really good roles. I think he was done dirty by Star Wars, but overall, I think he's a good actor. So I'm excited to see another movie he's featured in. For his next one, I literally don't know a lot about this one at all, other than just hearing people that have seen it and absolutely love it. So I have here Sound of Metal. So this one's actually a 4K copy. So you got the information on the front and back about it. Of course, I've read the description on the back, and I've Googled the general synopsis. It's rare that I'll buy a movie I know nothing about. I want to know at least a little bit about it. I'll usually try to watch a trailer for it as well, especially if I'm purchasing one I haven't seen. But I wanted to build my Criterion collection, so I ended up purchasing ones I didn't know much about. But generally, Criterion Collection films are generally well-liked. So I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy these a lot. So this is the next one that sits in my collection. This one is Malcolm X. I've heard great things about this one too. I was intrigued by the big box, so I'm excited to see what all comes in there. And I think Denzel Washington's a great actor, and I want to see more of his work. And I've heard this is one of the better films of his work, even though that's a long list. So that's why I picked this one up. I want to check it out, and I'm going to watch this sooner rather than later. This might be the first one of the Criterion Collection movies I do have now that I'm going to watch. Now this next one, this actually is the one I know the least about. I've just heard people like it. We got Citizen Kane. So this is the Blu-ray edition. Now, it's hard to tell, but this one's actually heavier than the other copies, even with Malcolm X. As you can see, this one's thinner, but this one's heavier. So I don't know if this is supposed to be steel, like I don't know. I'm gonna have to open it up. But this one's heavier copy, so looks like might be a booklet inside. So there's more to this packaging than the others. So I'm excited to open it up and check it out. Now this last one, of course I've heard a lot about it. This is a Blu-ray edition, and this is the original. We got Silence of the Lambs. I think it's a great artwork for the front. I love the artwork on the side for it. So if I can turn it where it can be read. You know, my lighting is terrible in this room. This is the last of these 5 that I purchased, and this is actually the last one for this collection update, but I've heard that this was a great movie. I'm going to check it out. I really want to see this one a lot, and like I said, constantly building that Criterion collection. Pretty soon, I'll have the opportunity to build it more and more, so I'm excited to continuously build, in general, my movie collection as a whole. These are the ones I picked up lately. Let me know in the comments which one you think I should dive into first. It's always fun sharing the recent purchases, the recent movies I have interest in, and ones that are sort of toward the top of my watch list. So thank you guys for tuning in. Keep it digging, and I can't wait to keep reviewing more movies with you guys. Thanks.